let's begin. We'll start off with some breathing, and let's first just come into our center. Imagine that you're breathing into your heart space, and as you breathe, you're just imagining a emerald green light that's just expanding and growing in this space as you just naturally breathe in and breathe out. Let's go in through our nose, out through our mouth. Try and make it slow and steady, a nice deep inhalation. So sitting up nice and straight helps let your ribs expand. Okay, so at your own pace, your hands can be on your knees or in your lap, and make sure your pelvis is tilting under, your tummy's lifted, and off we go. Breathing in, paying attention to our heart center, imagining emerald green light growing stronger and stronger as we breathe in and out of this space. Microphones off, please. We're just breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, focusing our attention on our heart center, imagining that we're growing that emerald green light on every inhale and exhale. Finish up your last round and just sit and allow your breathing to return to normal. Alrighty. Hi everyone, welcome. So today, Mondays, I usually spend some time in the morning playing oracle cards, and one of my favorite is Kuan Yin, who is the feminine goddess, I suppose, in Buddhism, I think it is, and she basically embodies compassion. And again, coming into your heart space and that emerald green light. So I would like us to try and have that for ourselves today. So anything that you find a bit challenging, ask yourself how you could make it a little bit easier for yourself. Do you bend your knees rather than trying to straighten them? Do you take the easier poses that I'll do? So I'll do baby poses and then more advanced. And do you stick with the baby poses for now because it's a softer practice for you? I'll think of things as we go through class, but I'll remind you, just try and be kind to yourself in this class. So although it'll probably be a little bit more challenging and warming because it's cold, be soft with yourself, and remember to just have compassion for you, for your body, for your capabilities, and try not to push yourself past what's comfortable. I had a student say the other day that she was sitting in one of the poses that we were doing and her body was screaming, and I was like, oh gosh, no, that's not yoga. Yoga is actually enjoying the poses, enjoying the stretches. So if you're in a pose and you're like, fudge, this sucks balls, step back and see how you can find it like, okay, I can feel a nice stretch there. It's not screaming and ripping my body apart, but I can feel it, and that's delightful. So just take that into consideration today. So we're going to start off doing like a vinyasa sequence to warm up our bodies. So instead of coming to the front of our mats, which is what we usually do, we're going to go to the back of our mats. So let's go. You hop up, stand at the back. Make sure that you're rooting down nicely in the legs. So imagine, you're stepping on the knuckles of the feet, the side and the back, making sure that the arches are lifting. Tuck your hips under, lifting your belly, and then take your arms being pulled up towards the ceiling. Then feel like you're melting down towards the floor, and then come into a forward fold with your knees bent. From this position, we're walking our hands forward into a plank position. So you walk, walk, walk until you're in your comfortable plank position. Then we're going to push up into our downward facing dog. We're going to take our left hand and touch it to the side. So imagine you're trying to turn your body to the side, and then place it a little bit closer towards you. Lift your right hand, feel like you're trying to twist towards the side, and bring it a little bit closer towards you. So we're essentially slowly walking back after touching the opposite direction. Keeping your belly lifted, keeping your legs as straight as possible, but again, have compassion. Don't be afraid to bend your legs. You're still getting a nice transverse muscle workout with bent legs, just as much as with the straight ones. And walk all the way back to where you were. Hang in forward fold with our legs straight this time. Walk forward into your plank. Left knee comes up towards your armpit, and then drag it down towards your wrist and lift it up again. Place your foot back behind you, lift the right knee, pull it up towards your armpit, drag it down towards your wrist and lift it up again. Back into your plank, back into your downward facing dog, come back into your plank, Chaturanga, make sure your bum muscles are active and the elbows are holding in towards your body. Tuck your chin towards your chest, squeeze your bum muscles and lift into cobra. Then unroll the head. Make sure that your shoulders are pushing down into the earth and your sternum is being pulled forward. Keep squeezing your bum muscles to support your lower back. Tuck your toes and lift into an upward facing dog. Lift up into your downward facing dog. You might want to take a step forward, just slightly, and then walk out the dog. And now we're going to hold one leg for a bit. So let's use left leg. Right leg is bent, just chilling, while left leg is stretching out that calf. Keep lifting in the belly and pushing down in the arms. Don't let them drop. And swap over to the right. Come back onto both legs. Walk your hands back to your feet. Hang for a moment, pulling your sternum towards your shins, sucking the belly up. And come up to standing, lifting the arms up into the air. Feel like you're reaching high, pulling up. And release. And take a moment to breathe. And upper hands go reaching up high. And feel like you're melting towards the floor. Legs are bent. You hang in your forward fold with bent knees. Place your hands in front of you and get ready to walk out into your plank position. Walk, 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 walk. Go up into your downward facing dog. And you take your left hand and twist under you, touch further back, and bring your hand back into your position, walking a little bit closer. Then your right hand, keep your tummy lifted, left hand, right hand. Remember, we're walking back towards our feet now. Left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. Walk all the way back up to your feet. Hang in forward fold, straight legs this time. Walk forward into your plank position. Right knee up towards your armpit, down towards your wrist, back up and behind you. Left knee, armpit, wrist, up again, behind you, into your downward facing dog. Let's take our right leg up towards the ceiling. Make sure you don't open up sideways. Try and keep your hips squared. Lifting in the belly, pushing your hands into the floor. Then let's bring that knee up towards the right elbow, then the ankle towards the left, going into our pigeon. Crawl your back leg backwards, sorry guys. And then let's slowly come down onto our elbows and sit in our pigeon. Make sure you're lifting in the belly, lifting in the armpits, we're not slouching. Remember to ask yourself how you can be kinder to yourself in this position. If you're finding it very difficult, take your ankle closer towards your forksy or gentleman bonnet. We're going to start just dropping our bum towards the floor and then coming back up again. So it's our right bum cheek that's dropping towards the floor and back up again. Keeping belly lifted, keeping space in that hip flexor area. Now imagine that you're trying to circle your hips. So feel like you're lifting up gently around, then grazing the floor and back up. So you're creating a little circular motion with that right hip. Come back to a neutral position. Placing your hands comfortably down in front of you so that your shoulder and your elbow are in alignment. We're pushing down on the forearms, taking our right leg back. Now on the forearm plank, you're going to drop your body down and push back up. So we're getting our shoulders working a bit here. So it's not the hips dropping down, it's the shoulders. Come all the way down onto the floor. Place your hands in line with your shoulders so that we can come up into our cobra position. Make sure your chin is tucked towards your chest. Push down, lifting the shoulders so that they're not up to the ears but down, and then slowly uncurl your head, pulling your sternum forward. Squeeze the bum cheeks to support the lower back. Tuck your toes and lift up into your downward facing dog. Take a little step forward if you need to. And this time, left leg goes up into the air. Bring that left knee towards the left elbow and then the ankle towards the right. Place your leg down and wiggle your back leg backwards to get you into a comfortable, you heard it, comfortable pigeon position. Onto your elbows. Make sure you're staying lifted and not slouching, and keep tummy lifted. And drop that left bum cheek towards the floor and back up again. Keep repeating. Start circling around. Gently place your hands down nicely in front of you. We're going into that forearm plank again. Tuck your back leg, lift, pushing down in the armpits to take your left leg back again. Remember the chest is coming down and then pushing up. Down and up, down and up, down and up, down, all the way down. Hands under shoulders, lifting up into cobra again. Tuck your toes, feeling your coccyx being pulled up into your downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Legs are straight and we hang in our forward fold. Allow your legs to open a bit more. You can have them to the edge of the mat. Make sure you're lifting in your belly, tucking your hips under as we slowly allow our bum to come down towards the floor. If you find this position challenging, Don't forget that you can come up onto your toes or grab a pillow or something to pop under your feet if you've got yoga blocks at home. They work great. And walk your hands as far forward as you can. And just sit. Remember to keep tucking your hips under and sucking your belly back towards your spine. Lengthen your spine so you're not curling over into Bola Makisi. Pulling the shoulders back. Slowly come back up to standing, and now we're going to make our way to the front of our mat so that we can then go into our lunge positions. So again, we're going to have our hands pulling up towards the ceiling and then melt towards the floor into your forward fold. Let's take our right leg back into our lunge position, drop the knee to the floor. You can still wiggle it a little bit further back if you want to. Make sure that you're using your bum cheek so that you're activating, you're using your muscles to get your bone into its socket nicely, and thereby also lifting your belly, so you're allowing your hips not to go into a skewed, funny position, but your muscles are also supporting your bones. So squeeze the bum, push the hips forward, lift in the belly. This is a really fantastic hip flexor stretch. So if you're finding your hip flexors quite tight, try and just drop and then hold it. Breathe, trick your body into relaxing. Bring your left hand on the inside of that left leg, and we're going to try and go down onto our elbows. Remember, compassion. If it's too deep for you, stay on your hands. We're going to crawl our front foot forward a bit. And then we're going to try and get our left shoulder under that knee. It's okay if it's not there. This is part of the compassion. So just take a moment and sit here like this. Now you have the choice to follow me into a deeper place or stay here. So just observe and decide what you'd like to do. I'm lifting my right arm up, so I'm placing my hands under their respective shoulders. My back leg is lifting and straightening up, so my toes are staying on the floor. Then my left leg is going to release so that I can lean it on my shoulder. So now you can come to this point and stay here, or you lift the back foot up as well. Up to you guys. I'm leaving you to play around and practice that a bit more, so I'm going to do it maybe 2 more times. I'm going to go slower in case anyone missed that, and just practice on your own for a little bit and see where you can get it. It's very much a balancing act. So this right elbow is getting into just this sort of into my hip. Actually, my hip bone's sort of almost there, and that's where I'm leaning the side of my body to help me lift this leg and get the back leg up. So we'll do it again, see how it goes. So we're in our lunge position. We've walked our front leg forward. We're dropping our body down, trying to get our left shoulder under that knee. Place your hands as if they're kind of in line with your shoulders. My right arm is also bending so that this elbow can dig into the right side of my body, kind of where that hip is. So I lift the back leg, lift the front leg up. Okay, so I'm on this left arm. Then I'm dropping down, so now my right elbow is into my side, and then I lean forward. Squeezing the bum muscles, and that's kind of, it's a balancing act. So imagine your body being pulled in both directions, and you try and play with the balance, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'll do it one more time. I hope you're playing at home. Okay, so left shoulder tries to come under my left knee. I place my hand under, sort of to be in line with my shoulder. My right hand is also placed sort of in line with my shoulder. I lift the back leg, lift the left leg up, lean on my right elbow, and lean forward. Here we go. Like I said, just keep playing, try it out for a bit before I continue. Okay, so once you're finished, you're kind of plopping out and you're sort of in your, maybe on the floor like so. So we'll come up into our cobra position, squeeze the bum to support the lower back, lift in the armpits so that your shoulders aren't up to your ears, and sternum being pulled long. Tuck your toes and lift up into downward facing dog. Now left leg comes forward. No, that was me playing games. Right leg comes forward because we're doing the opposite side now. Drop your knee towards the floor, and you can crawl that left leg back a bit more. Make sure you're activating the back bum cheek. This is getting into our hip flexors, stretching them out a bit. Your right arm on the inside of that foot, and try and come down onto your elbows. Remember compassion, if it's too deep, you just stay up on your hands. get back to that fun part. So you start crawling your front leg forward a bit. The right arm tries to get under the knee so that your shoulder is on it. Your left hand comes up so that you've got a nice placement of wrist to shoulder. We're straightening the back leg, pushing down in our arms. Then I'm lifting the right leg up, dropping onto my left elbow and leaning forward. Okay, hope you're playing at home. I'm going to do it twice more, so feel free to listen as you muck around. Getting back into position, my front leg's crawled forward slightly. My right shoulder is trying to get under. Ooh, this side wants to play games. My right shoulder wants to get under my knee, and I place my hands in the right positioning. Lift the back leg, lift the front leg, drop onto this back elbow, and lift. One more time. My shoulders coming under my knee, my hands are being placed, my back leg lifts up, my front leg comes up, I drop onto my back elbow and lift my back leg up. I'm just going to wait for you for a few moments to play a little bit. When you are finished, you'll just come and join me on your tummies, on your mat. And this is going to be a very subtle movement, so our focus is just on the hips and the bum. So we're going to squeeze the bum and tuck the hips under, lifting the belly. So it's almost like we're trying to lift the belly off the mat. Squeeze the bum and tuck the hips under, lifting the belly, and release. Squeeze the bum, tuck the hips under, lift the belly, and release. Squeeze the bum, tuck the hips, lift the belly, and release. Squeeze the bum, tuck the hips, lift the belly. Hold it. And gently release. We're going to squeeze the bum to start lifting our legs. So we squeeze the bum, lift the legs up. Squeeze tight. And drop down. I think I lost signal there, guys. Okay, so we're squeezing the bum, tucking the hips under, lifting the legs. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And slowly release down. Tuck the hips under, squeeze the bum, and lift the legs. Our legs are apart. We're not trying to hold them together at the moment. And slowly down. Tuck the hips, squeeze the bum, and lift the legs up. And slowly down. One more. Squeeze the bum, tuck the hips under, lift the legs. And slowly release. Push up onto your knees. legs for a bit. If this is a bit intense for you, again, compassion, grab a pillow and pop it under your bum, or come and sit in an easy seat and see if that works for you. Just make sure you're not feeling uncomfortable or sore or too much. Okay, we're tucking our hips under, doing a small twist. So we're not trying to twist deep today, so I'm not even going to tell you to suck bellies until you're skinny. Just gently twist, pushing your hand against your knee gently. So you feel when you're pushing your hand against your knee, it lets you stretch out just here by the rhomboids and the traps a little bit. So try and get into that feeling, it's lovely. And release, and let's go over to the other side, just gently twisting. Pushing the hand against the knee to get into the traps in the rhomboid area. Gently release. We're opening up our knees. We're going to flop over to the side so our left foot comes close to the forksy bonnet while our right foot goes out past our bum. Just slightly, just doing it here so that you can see me. So I'm just sitting in like a bit of a zigzag positioning. So we lift the belly, tuck the hips under, and we're going towards our left knee first. We lean over, suck that belly up, and just come to rest over that knee. Slowly come up, twist to go over your right knee. Keep lifting the belly, keep trying to create space in this hip flexor area. Come up, and you just swap them around. Tuck the hips, lift the belly. Let's first go over to the right knee. Slowly come up. Let's go over the left knee. Tuck. Try and keep the space here in your hip flexor. And up we come. And now we're just going to stack our legs on top of each other. Not in log position, but rather knee over knee. And it's completely fine if you can't get them right over. It's still going to get into the nice bum muscles and down the leg a little bit. So as long as you're feeling a bit of a stretch, you're fine. Tuck your hips under, lift the belly, and instead of leaning over our knees today, we're going to first go over to the left. So we scoop up the energy on the right, lean over to the left, and pull it over with us. So now we're getting into sort of the QL space and up the sides of our body. Keep lifting the the left side of your body, so it's not that you're collapsing sideways, you're lifting up and over a ball and then stretching long. So this should take it deep into the bottom leg and up the side of the body. Gently come up, and we go over to the other side. Again, you scoop up the energy from the left, pull it over towards the right, lift up over a ball. And up we come, and we swap legs. Trying to get our knees on top of each other. It's fine if they're not there. Tuck your hips under, suck belly up towards the spine. First we'll go towards the right, so we scoop up the left energy up and over. Again, this should be getting into the bottom leg and deeper into the bum muscle, up the side and into the QLs as well. Up we come to go over to the other side. Right hand scoops the right energy up and over. We come again. Righty, let's come into our forward fold position. Legs are nicely straight out in front of us. Feet are flexed. We're tucking the hips under, lifting in the belly. Our arms are being pulled long up to the ceiling and then pulled over to grab our feet or our ankles or our shins, wherever you can grab comfortably. Remember to imagine your sternum being pulled towards your ankles rather than curling over to get your head towards your shins. Remember to keep breathing. Allowing your body to just relax a little bit more. Gently release. Coming into our bigger diamond position. Tuck your hips under, squeeze the bum cheeks and lean forward to try and grab your feet. If you find your hips feeling a little bit sore, because sometimes the wider or longer your legs are, some people feel it more while others feel it closer. So just again, try and be kind to yourself. Wiggle your legs a little bit. See if you squeeze your bum, tuck your hips under, whether that will allow you to get a little bit deeper. Sometimes just wiggling your legs around will help your muscles to get into a more comfy position. And just try and drop over onto your feet. Again, sternum towards toes, not your head onto your feet. Try and pull yourself a little bit deeper. Gently come up. Send your legs straight out in front of you and we'll turn sideways. Your hands are pushing down just next to your bum. You're tucking your hips under, lifting in the belly. Activate your quad muscles, and you're just lifting your leg one at a time, up and down. Then the other one, up and down. First one, up and down. Second one, up and down. Last round. First one, up and down. Second one, up and down. Okay, the next one is a little bit more challenging. It's that Sierra movement I like so much. So we're going to flex our feet. We're going to lift our left leg up, twist it from the hip, 2, 3, and then keep twisting as we drop our leg back to the floor. So it's twisting 3 times in the air and then about 3 times to get back down to the floor. Lift the right leg up, twist, 2, 3, then start moving it down towards the floor. So you want that whole leg moving. It's not a foot movement, but your whole hip moves from the hip down. Okay, so let's do our second round. Left leg lifts up. Before we do that, remember to keep making sure that your hips are tucked under and your belly is pulling backwards. If you untuck and you don't use your tummy, it can get a bit intense on your hip flexors because they try to compensate. So really try and tuck the hips under, squeeze your bum to tuck your hips and suck your belly back. Lift your left leg, twist, 2, 3, then drop, 2, 3, down. Right leg, lift up, twist, 2, 3, then slowly drop it, 3, down. Okay, one more round. Suck the belly, make sure you're activating, lift the left leg, twist, 2, 3, drop it, 2, 3, down. Whew. Right leg, twist, 2, 3, drop, 2, 3, down. That was that. Well done, guys. Whew. And now we're just going to come sit in an easy seat, or you can sit on your heels, on your bum, on your cushion if it feels more comfortable, and we're just going to stretch out the neck a little bit before we do our relaxation. So just make sure you're comfortable. Alrighty, so we're going to start off with taking our right hand onto the left side of our head. We imagine that we're lifting our head up and over our tennis ball towards our right shoulder. Feeling a stretch going down the left side of the neck and into the shoulder. Make sure you're tucking your hips and lifting in the belly. Gently release. Take your left hand, grab the right side of your head, lift up and over your tennis ball, and pull your head towards your shoulder blade. Shoulder. Gently release. We go back to the first side. Remember, we're going over our tennis ball and we're pulling our chin towards our armpit, but it doesn't reach down towards our chest. that tennis ball keeps a nice space in between the chin and the chest. So you grab your head, you're pulling your head down to create a bit of resistance, and then your chin gets pulled down but keeps that space. In this position, we're taking our left hand, pulling it straight in front of us, and then lifting it up towards the ceiling. Bending at the elbow, the hand tries to get between the shoulder blades. Gently release, and we go over to the other side. Left hand grabs our head, our chin comes towards the armpit. Remember that tennis ball. Take the right arm, pull it long in front of you, up to the ceiling, and then bend at the elbow, trying to get your hand in between your scapula. Gently release, and we'll just turn our head left to right, slowly, 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 just 3 or 4 times, and then we'll get ready for relaxation. So start in your centered position. We're going to go over to the left first, and very slowly start turning your head towards the left shoulder. And slowly towards the right. Towards the left, towards the right, towards the left, towards the right, and come back to your neutral position. Roll your shoulders backwards, forwards, and you can get ready for relaxation. Okay, let's take a deep, 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 deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. Deep, 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 deep breath in. Exhale through your mouth. And last one, deep, deep, deep breath in. Exhale through your mouth. And start to imagine yourself catching that wisp of wind that you've just blown out, and going on a beautiful adventure into that space of compassion. Imagine wisps of green, all different shades, darks and lights, swirling around you. And imagine it taking you into this green building made of jade crystal. It's not just any old building. Use your imagination to create a grand cathedral or castle, something that just excites you with exquisite beauty. You wander into the center of this building, where there is this beautiful water fountain, also made of jade. And you just take in the sound of the lapping water. Noticing the magical koi fish swimming in this water feature. In this exquisite green building you've created, become aware of this growing sensation of absolute compassion and love for yourself. Imagine taking the time to look at yourself, your inner self, your outer self, with such love and understanding. Imagine going to moments in your life where you may have felt guilt or regret. But today, have compassion for you at that time, being aware that you were doing the best you could then, just as you are doing the best you can now. And feel yourself be wrapped with even more love, kindness, softness for you. Allow this feeling to grow. Feel this energy start to seep into every little part of your body, every molecule, every blood vessel, every muscle, every bone. Feel as you're filled up with this love and compassion that you cannot even help but feel joyous and so grateful to be able to appreciate all of you. that you're filled up with all this love and compassion, imagine allowing yourself to receive unconditional love from those around you. Imagine what it'll feel like to give unconditional love to those around you. Imagine what it would feel like. What it would feel like in your body, in your mind, in your soul, to experience this kind of love. Hold on to these beautiful feelings. Remember them. Take them with you as you slowly start to make your way out of your jade building, catching onto that wisp of air that brought you here, bringing yourself back towards your body as you take a deep breath in and slowly exhale through your mouth. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, very gently start wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, stretching out your body. Pull your knees into your chest and just hold on to them for a moment. And when you're ready, come up to seated, and let's do one Om to finish off. Hands on your knees or into your chest. We take a deep breath in. Thank you, everybody.